The city was always loud, always moving, always busy with people chasing something, money, dreams, or survival. In the middle of all this noise lived a young man named Daniel. He was not rich, not famous, and not someone people noticed easily. But he had one thing that made his life feel complete: love. Daniel worked long hours every day. Some days he was tired. Some days he felt like giving up, but he kept going, because after every hard day, there was someone waiting for him who made everything feel worth it. Her name was Lina. Lina was beautiful in a way that turned heads without effort. She was confident, stylish, and very active on social media. People loved her posts. They called her Soft Life Queen because everything she posted looked peaceful, happy, and perfect. And in those posts, Daniel was often there too. At least, that's what he believed. Yellow hearted love that felt real. When Daniel and Lina started dating, it felt simple and pure. They met through a mutual friend at a small gathering. Lina laughed easily, and Daniel noticed how she made even ordinary moments feel special. At first, Daniel thought someone like her would never notice him, but she did. She talked to him, asked questions, and made him feel seen. From that day, everything changed. They started spending time together after work, small walks in the evening, cheap food from street vendors, long talks about dreams they couldn't afford yet. But to Daniel, none of it felt small. It felt like love. Mobile phone, the social media world she lived in. Lina loved her phone. That was something Daniel noticed early on, but he never thought much about it. She was always taking pictures. If they ate together, she took a picture first. If they went somewhere, she asked him to wait a second while she set the angle. If the lighting was bad, she would sigh and say, "Let's try again." At first, Daniel smiled at it. He thought it was harmless, even cute. And when she posted pictures of them together, tagging him in captions like, "My peace red heart," or "Soft life of my baby smiling face with hard eyes," Daniel felt proud. People would comment, "Couple goals. You guys look perfect. This is real love." And Daniel believed it too. Cherry blossomed the life that looked perfect. From the outside, Daniel and Lina looked like a dream couple. They went on small trips when they could afford it, took pictures at cafes they barely had money for, shared quiet moments in parks when life got too stressful. Lina knew how to make everything look beautiful. Even if the reality was simple, she made it look like luxury. Daniel sometimes joked about it. He would say, "You make our normal life look like a movie." Lina would just smile and say, "That's because I see beauty in us." And Daniel believed her words more than anything else. Thought ballooned small things he ignored. But love has a way of making people ignore small cracks. There were moments Daniel didn't fully understand. Sometimes Lina would be on her phone and suddenly turn the screen away when he walked closer. Sometimes she would reply late at night, saying she was busy editing posts or talking to followers. Sometimes she would go quiet for a few minutes during their time together, lost in her own digital world. Daniel noticed these things, but he never questioned them deeply, because he didn't want to destroy something that felt so good. And every time he had doubt, Lina would do something sweet again. A smile, a hug, a post with his name. And Daniel would relax again. Revolving Heart's a relationship built on hope. To Daniel, Lina was not just his girlfriend. She was his motivation. When work got hard, he thought of her. When money was tight, he thought of building a better future for her. When life felt heavy, he reminded himself that at least he had someone who loved him. And Lina, in her own way, played the role perfectly. She knew how to make him feel needed, how to make him feel chosen, how to make him believe he was special. But what Daniel didn't realize was that sometimes being shown love is not the same as being truly understood. Fog a quiet distance he didn't notice. Over time, something small began to change. It was not sudden. It was not obvious. It was quiet. Lina started spending more time on her phone, even when they were together. She laughed a little less in real life, but smiled more for pictures. Sometimes she seemed distracted, like part of her mind was somewhere else. But Daniel always convinced himself it was nothing. Maybe she's just tired, he would think. Maybe she's busy. Maybe I'm overthinking. Because love makes people explain away what they don't want to lose. Camera would flash to life, She was building online. Online, Lena's life looked perfect. Her posts kept growing. Her followers increased. Her captions became more polished, more aesthetic, more intentional. She wasn't just living life anymore. She was creating a version of life people wanted to see. And Daniel was part of that image. A smiling boyfriend in photos. A soft caption. A perfect couple story. But behind the camera, something subtle was beginning to shift. Lina was starting to care more about the image than the moment itself. And Daniel didn't see it yet. Or maybe he didn't want to see it. Crescent moon ending of the beginning. One evening, Daniel and Lina sat together on a rooftop. The city lights flickered in the distance. The wind was calm. Lina was taking pictures again. Daniel sat quietly, watching her adjust angles, check lighting, and smile at her screen. For a moment, he just looked at her. She looked happy. At least, that's what it looked like. "Do you think people really see us the way I post us?" she asked suddenly, not looking away from her phone. Daniel smiled softly. "They see what you show them." Lina nodded slowly, like she was thinking deeply about something. Then she looked at the screen again and smiled. Daniel didn't know it then, but that moment was the beginning of something he would never be ready for. A truth hidden behind perfect pictures. A story that looked like love, but was about to break in ways he could never imagine. The night was quiet, but Daniel's phone was not. He had just finished a long, tiring day at work. His body ached, and all he wanted was a rest. He was lying on his bed, scrolling through his phone without much thought. Then, suddenly, a notification popped up. Lina posted a new photo. Daniel's tired face slowly changed. A small smile appeared. Even after a long day, seeing her name always gave him a little warmth inside. He tapped on it. Yellow heart the post that seemed perfect. The photo loaded. It showed Lina, looking beautiful as always. She was dressed nicely, sitting in a cozy place with soft lighting around her. Everything looked peaceful, stylish, and carefully arranged. At the top of the post, her caption read, "Soft life with my baby, smiling face with heart eyes, red heart." Daniel smiled. For a moment, he felt proud. He thought, that's us, that's our life. He didn't care that they weren't rich. He didn't care that life was sometimes hard. In that moment, seeing her post made everything feel worth it. He even felt a little happy thinking people were seeing their love story. He wasn't perfect, but their love looked perfect online. Mobile phone attention begins to grow. Within minutes, the post started blowing up. Likes increased. Comments started coming in. Couple goals read heartfire. Soft life queen smiling face with heart eyes. You two are perfect together. Daniel watched it quietly, feeling a mix of pride and comfort. He even saw some of his own friends commenting, laughing, praising them. He thought, we really look good together. And for a brief moment, everything felt normal again. Magnifying glass filter left a small action that changed everything. Daniel leaned back on his bed, still looking at the photo. Something made him zoom in. At first, it was harmless curiosity. Maybe to see the background better. Maybe to admire how beautiful she looked. He moved his fingers slowly, zooming into the image. Closer and closer. At first, everything still looked fine. But then, something caught his attention. His finger froze. His eyes narrowed slightly. In the background of the photo, there was someone else. A man, warning the moment of confusion. At first, Daniel thought it might be nothing. Maybe a random person walking by. Maybe someone blurred or out of focus. But the more he looked, the more his heart started to slow. The man was not far. He was close. Too close. Standing in a way that didn't feel random at all. It didn't look like a stranger passing by. It looked familiar. Too familiar. Daniel's smile slowly disappeared. He zoomed in again, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. His mind started to ask questions without permission. Who is that? Why is he so close to her? Why does it feel like they know each other? Broken heart, something doesn't feel right. Daniel sat up straight now. The tiredness from work was gone. His focus was locked on the screen. He kept staring, trying to convince himself it was nothing, but his chest felt heavy. The posture of the man, the way he stood, the closeness, it didn't feel normal. It didn't match what Lina had told him about her day. She had said she was with friends. A simple hangout. Nothing serious. But this didn't look simple. This looked personal. Daniel swallowed slowly. A strange feeling began building inside him. Not anger yet. Not full fear. Just confusion. Heavy confusion. Brain doubt starts to grow. He went back to the photo. Zoomed out. Then zoomed in again. Each time, his mind tried to find an explanation. Maybe it's just a random guest in the background. Maybe I'm overthinking. But his heart wasn't listening to logic anymore. Because deep down, something felt off. He scrolled down to the comments again. Everyone was praising the picture. No one else seemed to notice anything strange. That made Daniel feel even more alone with his thoughts. He leaned back slowly, staring at the ceiling for a moment, then back at the phone again. Camera with flash searching for answers. Daniel didn't stop there. He opened Lina's profile, scrolled. He checked the rest of the pictures from that same day. She had posted a few more. Different angles, different poses. Same caption style, but something strange appeared. In some photos, the background was cropped differently. In others, the angle seemed carefully chosen to hide something. Daniel's fingers slowed down. His heart beat a little faster now. He started noticing things he never cared about before. Why were certain parts of the background always avoided? Why did some photos feel too edited? Why did it feel like something was being hidden on purpose? Fog memory begins to shift. Then something worse happened. His mind started pulling old memories forward. Small moments. Tiny details he had ignored before. Times when Lina would say she was busy with friends, but never shared pictures of those friends. Times when she would suddenly stop video calls when someone entered the room. Times when she would laugh at messages but never explain them. At the time, Daniel had trusted her completely. He never questioned it. But now, those same memories started looking different. Suspicious. Uncomfortable. Connected. Thought balloon emotional shift begins. Daniel placed his phone down for a moment. His hands felt slightly cold. He looked at the ceiling again, trying to breathe normally. But his thoughts were no longer calm. Something inside him had shifted. The same post that made him smile just minutes ago now made him uneasy, confused, restless. He picked up the phone again, staring at the photo one more time. The man in the background was still there, still close, still too familiar. And Daniel realized something he didn't want to accept yet. This was no longer just a normal post. Something about this image didn't match the love story he believed in. And for the first time, Daniel felt a quiet fear growing inside him. A fear he couldn't explain, but also couldn't ignore. End arrow lead into next part. He locked his phone for a moment, then unlocked it again, staring at the image one more time, trying to convince himself it was nothing. But deep down, he already knew this was just the beginning. And what he was about to discover next would shake everything he believed about love, trust, and Lina.